Children, the grace of the Lord is sufficient for us. He protects us in all our ways. He loves us unconditionally for His love and grace, and for He has chosen us. We have to always praise the Lord. Children, God created every one of us with the purpose. All the human beings are created by God with a specific motto. So realize that your life has a purpose. So rise up and become the person you were meant to be. Shall you? Yes. Welcome to our social class, children. We are learning History, Unit 5, Educational Development in India, which is a long lesson. It's going on for some weeks, isn't it? So far, what were taught, I thought you understand well. Ancient time education and the modern education, everything we have started learning. Before entering into today's class, let's recall what we learned so far. History, Unit 5, Educational Development in India. Knowledge is the third eye of a man, and in education in ancient time, that we learned at first. So in education in ancient time, where it was taught? It was taught in the Gurukula system. And so many historical sources were there to provide information about the ancient time. From where does the word Sanskrit derived from? It is derived from the Veda. The word education is derived from the Sanskrit word Veda, which means to know. And so many sources of learning, like the writers Panini, Aryabhatta, Katyayana, Patanjali, Saraka and Susruta, and their medical writings. And the Gurukula system of life teaching was oral, and students, they are asked to memorize and remember what taught to them and meditate upon what was taught in the Gurukulas also. And the Gurukulas were named after the sages, and they are situated in forest and peaceful surroundings. Hundreds of students, they used to learn together in Gurukulas, and even kings and other important leaders also visit Gurukulas. Later in Chola and other kings period also, Gurukulas plays an important role. And during Buddhist time and the Jainist people time, Vigaras and universities, they played an important role. Taxila, Nalanda, Vallabi, Utandapuri, Chakatala, they were the important universities at that time. And the children from the neighboring countries like China, Korea, Tibet, Burma, they also came to India and learn what was taught at that time, to visit our universities and everything. So this was the condition of the education in the ancient time. Education in medieval India. It is a radical transformation in the education during the Muslim time. That is, the Muslim people, those who came for trade, they started spread their education and culture, society, activities, everything. The main aim of education during the Muslim period was elimination and extension of knowledge. What does elimination mean? Yes, clarification of doubts, and it is based on the knowledge of theology, religion, philosophy, fine arts, painting, architecture, etc. And two important schools were opened at that time. That is primary schools and secondary schools. What are the special names given to them? Have you remembered that? Primary schools are Magdabs and secondary schools were known as Madrasas. Who was the first king who started the madrasa? Iltutmish. Yes, good. And in Delhi, Iltutmish, he started the first madrasa at Delhi during his rule, and gradually so many madrasas came up. Okay, and they taught Arabic literature, grammar, philosophy, etc. and history also taught there. And in the south, Raja Jai Singh of Jaipur, he encouraged the scientific learning. And there are some in Madras, that is two Ghiazuddin in Delhi, and there is some madrasa at Maulana Sadruddin in Shahjahanabad. These are a famous one. And at the end of the medieval time, European people, they started coming to India, and the medieval period also founding many religion mutts. The Jain people, they found a lot of libraries for reference books and everything. Modern system of education. During the time, whose role was important? Have you remembered? Role of Christian missionaries. Good. European who came to India for trade, they established trading companies. Along with that, they constructed fortresses and they extended their territories in India through subsidiary alliance and the doctrine of lapse, everything we learned. And among these, they wanted to educate the Indian people. Who are the pioneers in this field? Good. The Portuguese, they were the first European to start the modern system of education in India. And in that, Francis Xavier, who was a Jesuit, where did he start the university? He started the first university at Cochin. And he started so many primary schools also. And the first college offering degree for completion was started in Goa. In which year it was started? It was started in 1575. And John Cranmer, he was the most important person who started the education for non-Christian children also. And one more person, Dr. C.S. John. He established free reading schools in Vancouver. Followed the Portuguese, and the French also opened so many institutions, and they appointed the Indian teachers through the local, and teaching was through the local language. And the two important bishops like Zizenbalk and Pulstech, both are the important people, those who started the training colleges for teachers at Travancore. And the English people also came to India in 1600, and they started their colleges, Bishop College at Calcutta, and Mr. Middleman, Dr. Middleman, who was an important missionary, he started Mount Stuart Elphinstone College at Bombay. And both all these Europeans, they gave more importance, and especially the Christian missionaries who came to India for spreading their religion, they gave more importance for spreading and developing the education in India also, especially Western education as well as the Indian education developed at that time. Education during the British rule, it was learned under 4 periods. That is, the first period was from British rule up to 1813. The important act was passed at that time. There is a Charter Act. It compelled the company to take some responsibility for education in India, and also a sum of 1 lakh rupee was allotted for the promotion of education in India during the first period of time. And also some important persons, Indian persons like Raja Ram Mohan Rai of Bengal, Pachepar of Madras, and W. Fraser of Delhi, they also contributed to the development of education at that time. And the second period was 1813 to 1853. It was marked a great educational controversies in educational policy, medium of education, and method of spreading education, everything. 3 type people's sections were there: Orientalist and Anglist, and the third section. And there was a contrast among the instruction. Then all these controversies were put an end by whom? Lord Macaulay. He passed a minute in the year 1835, and he told that in this it mentioned that higher education was based on only English, like that. And in the third period, in 1854 to 1920, it was a British influenced education. There is all India educational policy was passed during this time. 2 important commissions in education came to India at the time. What were the commissions? One is the Sir Charles Wood Education Dispatch of 1854, and another one is the Hunter Education Commission in 1882. The Wood's Dispatch is called as the Magna Carta of English Education in India, because it was the first declaration of the British education policy for education during the time at all levels, which was known as the Magna Carta of English Education in India, the Wood's Dispatch of 1854. And the fourth period was from 1921 to 1947. It was known as the Provincial Autonomy time. The act was passed in 1935, and a new era of educational advancement through the country. That is the introduction of complete provincial autonomy by the Government of India Act of 1935. And after the Second World War, there is a very important educational development which was passed through the Surgeon Report in 1944. And one more important scheme was brought by Mahatma Gandhi. What was the scheme? The scheme, when it was passed in the year 1937, and according to that, he insisted that the principle was non-violence. Gandhiji's basic of education. That is, he wanted to build a non-violent society and wanted to root out exploitation and centralization in society and create a non-violent social order. Shall we enter today's class? Yes. So this class we are going to see educational development of independent India. So it was during the Dr. Radhakrishnan period, and another period is national policy on education, then about Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, everything. So the educational development of independent India, it was a new era in the history of education, because with the attainment of independence, when did we get independence? Yes, we got independence in 1947, the day August 15. So after the independence, education development reached a new change, new era in the history of its development. Because the educational development in independent India, it brought a new hope, new vision, and a new future for the Indians, because we got independent and we are very free now. So it brought a new hope, new vision and a new future for the Indian people. In the year 1948, Dr. Radhakrishna Commission was appointed. Have you heard this name, people? Yes. He was a famous mathematician and who was well versed in science. And his birthday was celebrated as what day? Yes, Teachers' Day. So in 1948, his commission was appointed, Dr. Radhakrishna Commission was appointed with the purpose of making a report on the university education. Especially the commission recommendations, University Grand Commission was constituted. Based on the Radhakrishna Commission, what was constituted? Universities Grand Commission was constituted to determine the standard of higher education. Now also you may hear about Madurai Kamarajar University, Manoranmaniam Sundarlar University, Alagappa University, which are the university's main workers. They have to frame curriculums, that is syllabus, and conducting educations, everything for the higher education at the degree levels. So that was first appointed by the Dr. Radhakrishnan. Another important event of this time was the appointment of Secondary Education Commission. In the year 1952-53, it suggested a new importance for the improvement of quality of textbooks, curriculums. Curriculums means the syllabus and the method of teaching. And one more commission also appointed at that time, which was known as by the name Dr. D.S. Kothari Commission. So one more commission was the Dr. D.S. Kothari Commission, which was appointed in the year 1964. And they insisted two important things. One is the free and compulsory primary education for all the children, those who are up to 14 years of age. And another thing is, how do you come to school? In what dress you are wearing? Uniform. So the uniform that's brought during that time. And one more thing, all throughout the country we have to follow the uniform educational structure. That is 10th plus 2 and the degree should be for 3 years. Throughout the country till today we are following this pattern. 10th plus 2 and then plus 3 is for the basic degree. That is the undergraduation should be got in 3 years. So Dr. Kothari Commission, it compelled two important things. One is the free and compulsory primary education for all children up to the age of how many years? 14 years. And one more important thing is the proper, that is all throughout the country, what type of educational structure is insisted by them, that is recommended by them is the 10 plus 2 and plus 3. So the education development in independent India was a new era. It brought a lot of changes, new hope, new vision, new future for the Indians. And Dr. Radhakrishnan Commission and Dr. D.S. Kothari Commission, they brought a lot of changes in the development of education during India at that time. So in the post-independent India, the important thing was the national policy on education. For the first time in 1968, for all over the world, the first national policy was passed by the government. When was the first national education policy passed? It was passed in 1968. And it marked a significant step in the history of education in the post-independent India. When was the first national policy on education passed in India? 1968. And it aimed at many things. The important things are to promote the national progress. Progress means development. And among the citizens, there should be a sense of common citizenship and culture. And also to strengthen the national integration. There is unity among the people. It is our nation. We are all Indians. That is called as the feeling of integration. So promoting national progress and a sense of common citizenship and culture, and to strengthen our national integration. The three things are aimed by the first national policy on education in the year 1968. The new education policy, it main aims to transfer our static society into a vibrant one. It committed to development and change. The society should be developed and there should be change in the society. It leads to national progress and to lead to national integration. That was the main aim of the new educational policy, which was passed in India for the first time in 1968. The new education policy emphasized, that is, it gave importance for equal opportunity to all the society in the all the people in the society, all throughout the country, it wanted to develop education without showing any partiality. Every section of the people wanted to be educated. So for that purpose, the government gave scholarships to the people, those who cannot study and those who are poor under the poverty line. For them, to encourage the family members to send the children to education, they are providing scholarships. And some of the adults, those who cannot have education at the younger stage, they can join the adult education. In Tamil, you may know that Mudiyor Kalbi. And the open universities were started at that time. That is the people, those who stopped their school education at the early time, and now they wanted to join under degree, but they cannot go to college or join in the regular universities. They can join under open universities and had their degree. So all the three important things for emphasizing opportunities for the society, all society people to develop the education, was taken by the new education policy of 1986. The new education policy also gave more importance for primary education. For the improvement of the primary education, two things were insisted by them. That is, the education should be child-centered approach. That is, that's why the activity schemes and the small cardboard system scheme, by showing the pictures to encourage the children to understand a lot, child-centered approach came in primary education. And another important thing is the Operation Blackboard, to improve the primary schools all over the nation. Up to 5th standard, primary school up to 5th standard, everybody could get the education. That was the main, another important thing possible by the National Policy Education of 1986. The new education policy, which was passed in the 1968, and also the new education policy was passed in 1986, and it was revised again in 1992. When it was revised, so many changes were brought by the government in our education that gave more importance for the formulation of national-wide curriculum framework. That is, now if you are studying under CBSE, all over the nation, the same syllabus they are all learning. So that is called as the national curriculum framework. And also it gives importance for the in-service education. That is, some of the people, after finishing their school studies, they can, or some of the after finishing their secondary education, that is 10th standard, they have to do some work for their home, means they can work and study. That is called as the in-service education. And improvement of facilities, that is in schools and primary schools, secondary schools, and all the government schools, they may make lot of facilities for the children. And also the evaluation was streamlining by this system. So the new education policy, which was again revised in 1992, it gave more importance for the formulation of national curriculum framework. And it gave importance for in-service education, improvement of facilities, and the streamlining of the evaluation system in the secondary stage of education. So national education policy was passed in 1968 for the first time, and it was the 1968 policy gave more import. It is an important step taken by the government in post-independent India. That is, after independence, it aimed to promote national progress, sense of common citizenship, culture, and also strengthen the national integration. And in 1986, and again, new education policy was passed by the government. It transferred the static society into vibrant one by giving importance to development and change. Equal opportunities were given to all sections of the people by providing scholarship, adult education, and open university system, everything. And it is also called as a child-centered approach in primary education, which launched the Operation Blackboard to improve the primary schools. Another important development in education during the 20th century was the introduction of SSA, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, that is education for all, especially to improve the universal elementary education. It was passed in the year 2000-2001. What does SSA mean? Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. It stands for education for all. SSA, which stands for Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, was the Government of India's flagship program that was launched in the year 2000-2001, especially to achieve the UEE, that is Universal Elementary Education. The SSA implements the RTE, that is the right to education. The government guarantees the people, citizens of every citizens of the country are guaranteed by the fundamental rights. One of the fundamental right is the RTE. RTE means right to education. So right to education, which was again insisted by SSA to provide free and compulsory education to all children from 6 to 14 years of age. SSA initiates not only free and compulsory education, it also initiates some important other activities in school, providing midday meals to the children. Some of the poor children, those who cannot get the proper meals at home, they have to go do some work for their home activity, home expenses. So for them, midday meals were introduced in the schools, and already which was introduced during Dr. MGR period, that was once again insisted by SSA, and like scholarships, some stipends were given to the students for appreciating their education, and also SMCs were appointed. SMCs means school management committees. SMCs means school management committees for provision of teaching and learning materials. Like SSA, another important scheme is the RMSA, Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan. It is specially sponsored central for whole country sponsored scheme for the improvement of quality education at the secondary stage. The secondary stage means for 11th and 12th. RMSA, Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, which was implemented during 11th 5-year plan. And its main goal was to make the secondary education a qualitative one. That is, the quality of the education should be improved and it should be available and accessible to all the sections of people. And also it should be affordable. That is, the fee should be paid by all the people, especially for the young children from 15 to 16 years of age. And to improve the secondary education, RMS has taken all the effort. And science labs, libraries, in-service training for teachers, computer-aided education, improvement in the co-curricular activities, the textbooks, that is the teaching, learning aids, everything were given by the Government of India through the RMSA to improve the secondary education. So latest in 2018 to 2019, Union Budget was passed by the government. It gave importance to all sections of education from preschool to standard 12. And it broadened the goal of improving school effectiveness, that is measured in the terms of equal opportunities and equal learning outcomes. And its sub-schemes are SSA, RMSA. So when was the Union Budget passed? In 2018 to 19. And what was its main goal? To improve the effectiveness of education. For that purpose only, one more formation called as the Samagara Shiksha was formed. So in 2017, a committee was appointed by Ministry of Human Resources Development for the development of human people. Human are important resources for a country. So for their development, a separate ministry is there. In 2017, it made a committee to make research about the educational development in India, and the committee submitted a report in the year 2019. Based on the report, so many development programs were taken by our governments. So people, this was we have learned education and development of independent India, which was a new era in the history of education. After 1947, when we got independence, it brought a new hope, new vision and new future for the independence. In 1948, who formed a commission? Dr. Radhakrishnan, he framed a commission to report the University of Education, and the University Grand Commission was considered to determine the standard of higher education. And one of the important events happened during the time of the improvement of secondary education in 1952 to 53. That is main changes in the patterns and improvement of quality of textbooks in the syllabus and method of teaching everything. And one more commission was the Dr. D.S. Gothari Commission, which was appointed in 1964. Free and compulsory primary education for all the children up to 14 years of age, and also all throughout the year. What type of education structure was brought? Uniform educational structure of 10 plus 2 plus 3. The national policy on education, for the first time in India in 1968, the first education national policy was passed, which was an important one. And it aimed to promote national progress, sense of common citizenship, culture, and also to strengthen the national integration. Again, new national education policy was passed in the year 1986 with the aim to transfer a static society into the vibrant one and committed to the development and the change. It emphasized on what? Equal opportunities. That's why without removal of disparity among the people through scholarship, adult education, open university scheme, etc. And the new policy also, it is a child-centered one, and it promoted the launched primary school education and operation of blackboard operations also. And the new education policy was revised in 1992 with the framing of the National Curriculum Framework, in-service education and improvement of facilities and development of evaluation schemes, etc. in the secondary stage. Then another two important thing is SSA and RMSA. That is Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan and Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan. Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan was launched in 2000 to 2001 mainly to achieve the UEE, that is Universal Elementary Education, and also to insist right to education, that is free and compulsory education to all the children from the age of 6 to 14 years. Then midday meal scheme, stipend for the students, school management committees were appointed for providing teaching, learning material, etc. by the SSA. RMSA, that is Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, was created to sponsored scheme for the improvement of quality education in the secondary stage of education, which was launched in the 11th 5-year plan. Main goal was to improve secondary education qualitative, available, accessible and affordable, and especially for young children, that is 15 to 16 years of age. Science libraries, science labs, in-service training for the teachers, computer-aided education, co-curricular activities, teaching learning aids, everything was provided during that time. And also Union Budget 2018 to 19, it provided lot of facilities for preschool to the 11th 12th standard. And in 2007, a committee was appointed by the Human Rights Commission to develop the human resources development. The committee made lot of research in the field of education with the help of SSA and RMSA and submitted a report in 2019. Children, hope that what was taught in the class you understood well. Read the portion taught and try to answer all the questions which are given in the homework page. Thank you all children. Hope that you understood the class well. Be positive and submit it to your parents. God bless you children.